Then they announced yesterday that Kyren Williams is going to get return punts.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you this. Just first thing you think of when you think of Kyren Williams is what?
Valuable.
Okay. What's next?
Injuries.
Right.
Yes.
Right. Those are exactly the right two things.
Yes.
This is somebody who's really important to the success of your team.
Mm-hmm.
You've said this before. We talked about it all last season. When they moved on from Cam Akers and put Kyren Williams in there full time, they were a totally different football team. Then he got hurt.
Yeah.
They were not very good when he was gone. He comes back. They basically don't lose again. They lost one regular season game when he came back
and
after
it was
that.
Barely
to Baltimore. So if the idea is to have him just go back there and fair catch everything, why him? That could literally be anybody. Why him?
Maybe because they want to create some explosive plays.
But then you're going to have him return it, right?
Yes.
If we're going to have him return the ball, why am I taking somebody who, maybe with the exception of Matthew Stafford, is your second most important offensive player?
Because of the value he gives, because it equates to winning.
He missed almost his entire first season, missed a good chunk of his second season, and in the third season, you've drafted somebody who can spell him and Blake Corum.
Yes.
But for the life of me, I don't understand why you put him in a punt return role, because he has not proven to be a particularly durable player.
Yeah.
He's incredibly important to what you do. And if you're just saying, hey, look, we're just going to fair catch everything and start from there, why him? Obviously, he's back there to return the ball, which makes no sense to me.
Because in the past, it's been Ben Skronik in that role of a punt returner, typically.
And it was typically a fair catch or something like they just don't really bust it.
Who, again, are two guys that were not valued incredibly highly.
What is Tutu's role in this team now?
I don't know. It's just, okay, his role is what it's been the past couple of years, which is the deep threat, which they rarely use, and it's almost always used. If he doesn't catch it, it's a PI call, and you get the ball placed at the 10 or 15 where it's going to be anyway. He's going to be in every 3 plays a game guy. In terms of, 3 plays a game designed for him, as opposed to he's going to be wide receiver 4, 5.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, obviously, Puka and Cooper, and then Demarcus Robinson.
Yep.
And then it's either Tutu or Jordan Whittington switching for that role. And Jordan Whittington more mirrors
Jordan
what Puka
Whittington is more
Cooper.
of a useful wide receiver than Tutu Atwell. He does more things.
Yes.
Again, this is just back-to-back things that if it were one, you go, okay, give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
2 things in one day that really make you go, what are they doing?
Do they just value Blake Corum that much?
Wouldn't you do it the opposite way, though? Wouldn't you
Put
for instance,
Blake back there?
Yeah. If that's what you want to see, if you can do some stuff there, why am I taking the guy that has proven to be a little bit of an injury risk? But he gets hurt.
Yeah.
It doesn't add up to me.
It confounds me as well, and maybe it's a thing that Sean McVay is confident in himself that no matter who he puts in that running back position, he knows the scheme's set up to.
But that's not true. We've seen, Williams was a big difference.
Yes.
He was much better than Cam Akers. He was much better than Darrell Henderson. He was, he was the first guy we've really seen, and I'm not saying he's as good as Todd Gurley, because very few people have been, but Sony Michel, he was better than Sony Michel.
Right.
He was better than Henderson. He was better than Akers. He's better than most of the guys we've seen go through there. Putting him in additional exposure doesn't.
Why not put Ronnie Rivers back there? Why not put anybody that's in your? They kept 4 running backs.
3
running backs. So they kept Ronnie Rivers and Blake and Kyren. So it's why not have Ronnie Rivers back there if you're going to have anybody as running back? I don't know.
Got me.
It's the first time we've both been frustrated by something the Rams did, and in terms of a way that it did not make immediate sense to us. Because a lot of times that we see things happen, you're like, oh, we've seen that coming in the line. Or we've seen, oh, that seems like a measured decision. These both don't seem like incredibly measured decisions.
If this works out, then they are officially the smartest guys on the block.
Sure.
And if it doesn't, it's really the first time where you kind of saw it coming and said, guys, I don't know what you were thinking
They're
right here.
They're testing our trust.
They're borrowing against it, that's for sure. And if it hits, then they'll be able to do whatever they want for as